Stop tearing buildings down.
This building is representative, is symbolic of a bigger issue.
We need parking reform now.
40% of downtown's area is taken up by parking.
Today we're out here representing Detroiters for Parking Reform.
Park Shelton Saturday night. This is why we came to fight.
Protesting the imminent demolition of the Detroit Saturday Night building.
Park Shelton, we love you, but surface parking makes us blue.
10 years ago, long before I was on council, this deal was negotiated. And as part of rehabbing the Fort Shelby building, the proposal was back then to demolish this building, the current building, to create parking spots. The complication with this building, I think specifically, is the money attached to that project. There was HUD money that was proposed to help support the finances of it, and then there's $18 million committed from the general retirement system. So when council voted, we voted against putting on an interim historic designation. So it wasn't to demolish the building, it wasn't to construct a parking structure, and that's important to clarify. However, though, by not putting an interim historic designation, they have the right, as any private property owner does, to renovate or to demolish their structure.
The pension fund, which is part of the issue here, would be much better served if that money was coming back in taxes long term rather than it being locked into 12 surface parking spaces. And we need your support, and we need you to reach out to council and the mayor about changing how we do this so that the city of Detroit has a better long-term future with these buildings as part of them, because there's no good reason why this needs to be parking.
We don't need more parking, look around.
Directly across the street, there's hundreds of spaces.
That's a parking garage, that's a parking garage, that's a surface parking lot. It's everywhere.
I think in a way, the broader conversation, people forget that we were the Motor City and very much are in a way. And so the city was built for cars, not people. And we still kind of have that mentality and idea and that thought process. So when you talk to developers, even residents, and you talk about removing parking, people will go crazy.
Stop tearing buildings down.
And I think we're very close to seeing a Detroit where you don't need a car anymore to get around.
And then I think you have a newer voice coming into this space. I tend to align more with that newer voice of why are we, creating these swaths of just cement and asphalt essentially that really don't allow for further development and building of community.
You don't go to a city like London or Paris or New York or Rome because it has easy access to parking. You go there because people are able to do things in close proximity to one another, and it becomes a place that's lively and dynamic.
And like my sign says over there, my idea of a perfect Saturday night is not parking.
We're not saying get rid of all parking or that parking isn't a part of what happens in cities, but we're just not doing it in a smart way.
I do think that there's hope, and I do think we're moving in the direction as a city to move away from surface parking lots.
We're demanding that the city think about this in the future so that the city is in a better spot 10, 20 years from now.